Tonight on Global TV News Prime, President Tinubu distributes professional kits to midwives in Southeast. A federal government to drive creative economy through partnerships. On the foreign scene, President Trump effects travel ban locks out citizens from 12 nations. And in sports, Amuso clocks 100-meter season's best in Jamaica. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Uyi Agmofwegbe, reminding our viewers tonight that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our 247 broadcast. Tonight, we'll begin by telling you, wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has flagged off the distribution of 10,000 professional kits to midwives in the southeastern region of the country, reaffirming her commitment to improving healthcare outcomes across the country. Speaking at the event held at the International Conference Center, Enugu, the First Lady said the initiative is part of the Renewed Hope initiative, which aims to support frontline health workers and strengthen maternal and child health services nationwide. In a different development, President Bola Tinubu is set to officially commission the completed International Conference Center in Abuja, marking its readiness for public use. The announcement was made by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, following a final routine inspection of the facility ahead of the commissioning. Godwin Sunday has more.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, expressed satisfaction that this project, along with several others, is now completed and ready to serve the public.
And also thank you, Mr. President, for the support we have received from him and completing this project. I can tell you that it's one of my happiest moments in life, that this time when people are talking about things are difficult, we're able to deliver basic infrastructure to the people.
Minister Wike highlighted the importance of prudent financial management in the successful execution of such projects. He observed that despite facing financial bureaucratic challenges, strategic planning and strong leadership were crucial to completing the conference center.
One thing is just that, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Are you committed to it? Yes or no? And prudent financial management is key. Nobody can claim that he has all the resources in the world, but the ability to manage prudently is what is more important.
The FCT administration also assured that designated officials will manage the facility adequately to ensure its sustainability and long-term use. Godwin Sunday for Global Television News.
Godwin, thank you. President Bola Tinubu has met with Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at his residence in Ikoyi, Lagos. Governor Sanwo-Olu arrived in company of members of the Governance Advisory Council, a key political body within the Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Kikelomo Okere has more.
The Governance Advisory Council is regarded as the apex decision-making organ of the APC in Lagos, playing a crucial role in shaping the state's political landscape. In an interview with journalists after the meeting, Sanwo-Olu said the meeting is an occasion to pray with the president, offer well wishes, and reaffirm support, acknowledging Tinubu's leadership over the past 2 years. He concluded by reaffirming his loyalty that the council to President Tinubu and the APC, underscoring their commitment to unity ahead of the upcoming local government elections.
We all came around to felicitate with him, to pray with him, to wish him well, to say to him that Lagosians and everyone is happy with him, that we can feel, we can see the impacts of what he has done in the last 2 years. And so to wish him well and to continue to say that he has our best wishes at all times.
He highlighted key achievements attributed to President's backing, including the launch of new Blue Line train stations in Lagos, made possible through federal support and a recent reduction of fuel and food prices.
Coincidentally, if I dare say today, for us in Lagos in particular, nothing beyond the fact that he was very happy to see us, extremely very happy to see us. He was very excited that we are one big happy family, and we are not divided in any form, and we all honestly also pledge our full loyalty to him, to his government, to as our leader, as our father, and it was unanimous, and he's charged us to ensure that the forthcoming local government election, which, we're all, that we should all go and do our very best.
Addressing planned protests scheduled for June 12 by some groups, the governor described them as baseless. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
Away from Samuel Odi's report now, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has called on President Bola Tinubu to intervene and halt what it describes as a purported threat by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to shut down 34 foreign embassies in Abuja over unpaid ground rents. In a post on X, the agency warned that such action would violate international law and diplomatic conventions. A further reference to Article 22 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, which guarantees the inviolability of diplomatic missions and prohibits their premises from being subjected to search, requisition, attachment, or execution. The Ooni of Ife, Enitan Ogunwusi Ojaja II, has applauded President Bola Tinubu's plans to deploy forest guards to secure the nation's ungoverned spaces. The royal father, who gave this commendation while speaking with State House journalists after paying a courtesy visit to the president at his Ikoyi residence in Lagos, assures that traditional rulers will do everything necessary to partner with the federal government to ensure that the plans succeed in securing local communities across the country. Godwin Sunday reports.
The Ooni of Ife, Enitan Ogunwusi Ojaja II, expressed optimism about the Tinubu's administration effort, praising the proposed restructuring of the forest guard system as a critical step towards lasting peace and investors' confidence. He also hailed the president's economic reforms, which he said will reposition Nigeria on the global stage, just as he backed the administration's newly proposed forest guard security structure.
The current administration is addressing it, which is the area of security. We're very happy with the forest guard structure and another platform to bring in more police force for the forest guard to continue to comb the entire forest, both in the north and in the south. So once security can be addressed, there is a good platform for investment to flow to Nigeria now. One area that Mr. President is addressing now, and I discussed with him too, is area of security. So he's on top. Let's keep praying for him.
Another respected traditional ruler, the Alake of Egbaland, Oba Michael Adedotun Aremo Gbadebo, also paid homage to the president in Lagos. Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News.
A senior special assistant to the president on public affairs, Aliyu Audu, has resigned his position. In a one-page letter dated June 8 and routed through the president's chief of staff, Audu said he formally tendered his resignation, effective immediately. A former Senate Chief Whip, Senator Ali Ndume, has alleged that presidential aides who are meant to assist President Bola Tinubu are deceiving him on national issues, insisting that some of them are damaging to the president's image. Claiming that the government has been hijacked by those he described as kleptocrats, Ndume alleged that key figures in Tinubu's inner circle are driven by self-interest and gross incompetence. Abia State Governor Alex Otti says he will continue to support President Bola Tinubu as he takes difficult but courageous and necessary economic decisions to fix Nigeria's economy. Otti said Tinubu made a courageous decision to remove the fuel subsidy, noting that it ought to have been done long ago. Governor Otti thanked former Governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu, for the work he did in the state while he was in charge. The Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has released a forecast of thunderstorms and rainfall across various regions of the country from Sunday through Tuesday. The weather update by the agency predicted moderate rain in parts of Taraba and Adamawa in the northern region. The outlook for north-central Nigeria includes a cloudy morning followed by thunderstorms and rain later in the day, projected to affect areas such as the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Nasarawa, Kwara, Kogi, Benue, and Plateau states. Benue State Governor Hassan Thalia has gained support from fellow clergymen in the face of mounting calls for a state of emergency in the state. Global TV's correspondent Felicity Indere reports that the Benue chapter of the Charismatic Bishops Conference of Nigeria rejected calls from some of their colleagues for the declaration of emergency rule during a press briefing held in Makurdi, the state capital.
The recent wave of deadly attacks on vulnerable communities in Benue State has heightened insecurity and sparked mixed reactions from residents and observers alike, with some individuals and groups calling on President Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in Benue. In response to the calls, Archbishop Alexander Nyoike, State Overseer of the Charismatic Bishops Conference of Nigeria, said Governor Hassan Thalia, as a fellow clergyman, deserves the support of religious leaders, emphasizing that Benue needs unity, not a state of emergency, to confront its common enemy.
As fathers of faith, when you have a son and a brother in the vineyard and is doing well, you say, my brother, keep it on. I must say thank you, Mr. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. As you earlier on said, you are standing by the Benue people. We say continue to stand with us and continue to stand with our governor. He's our brother in the vineyard, and we are praying seriously. And what I'm expressing here is pray ye and watch.
The Archbishop stressed that at this critical time, Benue requires unity and collective support for the governor to succeed. He referenced biblical teachings that calls on believers to respect authority, noting that leadership is divinely ordained.
We cannot be against anybody that is saying anything. What we know is there's no authority that is set on earth that is not from God. Any authority that is set on earth comes from God. And the Bible says you must be submissive to the authority. We are the state chapter here. Yes, we are prophets, but we are submissive to the authority. We want to call on Benue citizens and the Christian body not to join the people who kill the child and divide the child. Let the child live so that tomorrow we will use, and tomorrow we will send, and tomorrow the child will feed us.
Clerics reaffirmed their support for Governor Alia and praised President Bola Tinubu for his continued commitment to the people of Benue, particularly his recent directive for the Chief of Army Staff to pay a 2-day operational visit to the state for on-the-spot assessment in response to the escalating insecurity. In Makurdi, Felicity Indere, Global TV News.
Benue State correspondent Felicity Indere, thank you for your reporting tonight. Let's turn to the stories for you quickly. The federal government has launched an investigation into a viral video showing alleged neglect of accident victims at the emergency units of the Federal Medical Center, Ajabi, in Abuja. The video, which has circulated widely on social media, showed victims of a road accident reportedly left unattended by hospital staff after being brought in by a Good Samaritan. To health matters now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NDDC, says Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba, and Ebonyi states have accounted for 90% of all confirmed Lassa fever cases in Nigeria so far in 2025. The agency disclosed this in its latest epidemiological Week 21 report published on its official website, which confirmed that Nigeria has recorded 739 confirmed Lassa fever cases and 141 deaths, resulting in a case fatality ratio of 19.1%, which is a slight increase from the 18.1%. This is Global Television. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime with Uyi Agmofwebe. When the rest of the news returns shortly, President Trump effects travel ban, locks out citizens from 12 nations. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us, everyone. The second part of tonight's news broadcast now returns with business, where Lagos State government now says the journey time on the Lagos Blue Rail line from Marina to Mile 2, which is 18 minutes currently, will now take about 9 to 10 minutes to complete alongside reduced fare. The state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, stated this while handing over the newly imported 3 trains of 12 coaches to the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority. The governor said with the new coaches that would be deployed on the train tracks soon, commuting along the Blue Rail line would be faster, as the journey is likely to reduce by 50% of what it currently takes. As Nigeria marks the second anniversary of President Bola Tinubu's administration, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, has declared that the country's economy, though still facing challenges, is firmly on the path to recovery. Bagudu made this known after a courtesy visit to President Tinubu at his Lagos residence. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, noted that bold structural reforms initiated by the administration have begun to yield results, particularly in strengthening investor confidence and unlocking fiscal space for development. He highlighted the removal of long-standing subsidies on fuel, foreign exchange, and electricity as key to freeing up resources previously drained by unsustainable expenditures. The minister said the recovered resources are now being redirected into strategic sectors such as infrastructure, agriculture, education, security, consumer credit, and digital innovation.
The additional revenue, we are putting it to infrastructure use, we are putting it to consumer credit, we are putting it to agriculture, we are putting it to additional money in security, we are putting it to additional money on human capital development and innovations, digital skills, so that we can generate employment.
Bagudu added that the reforms have restored a measure of confidence among domestic and foreign investors. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has officially launched a capacity enhancement program for its first batch of Nigerian mining professionals at Murdoch University in Australia. The initiative is a key outcome of the Nigeria-Australia collaboration with the support of the Commonwealth governments aimed at addressing skill gaps in the mining sector and deepening bilateral ties between Nigeria and Australia. Over now to Sharon Ajay for the rest of the story.
Australia through the Australian Ministry of Mines and Petroleum and Murdoch University to facilitate technical training designed to strengthen the expertise of Nigerian mining professionals. This collaboration, with strong support from the Australian High Commission in Nigeria, has now culminated in the commencement of a 2-week pilot training program involving 7 Nigerian participants at Murdoch University. In his remarks at the launch, the Minister of Solid Mineral, Dele Alake, noted that the program represents the realization of a vision conceived less than 2 years ago. The minister charged the participants to be worthy ambassadors of Nigeria and to leverage the training to enhance the country's technical capabilities and contribute to evidence-based policy design and implementation.
Here I must not fail to mention the strenuous efforts of the Australian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ms. Edith. She's been a pillar of support and encouragement at every point. She was always there, egging us on, encouraging us at every point, and also traveling ensuring that this vision came to reality.
Welcoming the Nigerian delegation, Vice Chancellor of Mudok University, Professor Andrew Dex, highlighted the importance of capacity building in the global resource sector. He emphasized that the exchange program aligns with the university's mission to promote ethical, sustainable, and inclusive engagement across continents through impactful education and research. The Western Australian Minister for Mines and Petroleum, David Michael, welcomed the Nigerian delegation and expressed strong support for the collaborative approach to resource development. The training covers a wide range of subjects, including extractive metallurgy, sustainable geochemistry, and mineral science research. Participants will also embark on field trips and engage directly with the industry experts to explore mining trends, investment opportunities, and sustainability challenges. Sharon Ajay, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you so very much, Sharon. Let's stay on the economy for a while now. The Minister of Art, Culture, Tourism, and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, has reiterated the federal government's commitment to partnering with the 36 states of the Federation, as well as the private sector, to achieve its target of hitting the $100 billion economy. Musawa disclosed this in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, where she said a memo has been approved by the Federal Executive Council to identify all cultural values and unique peculiarities of all the states to boost the economy through cultural creativity. The United States and China are to sit down at the negotiating table in London to attempt to preserve a fragile truce on trade despite simmering tensions. President Donald Trump said Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and Trade Representative Jameson Greer are leading the U.S. delegation. China's Foreign Ministry announced that Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng, who led Beijing's negotiating team at previous talks with the United States last month in Geneva, would also head the team in London. Well, those talks have already commenced now in London, and Global Television will have an eye out for you to bring you the developments as it unfolds. Let's go further into the foreign scene tonight. UK President Volodymyr Zelensky says the United States, under the administration of President Donald Trump, has redirected 20,000 anti-drone missiles that were originally intended for Ukraine to American forces stationed in the Middle East. In an interview, Zelensky said Ukraine had relied on the missile delivery to bolster its defense against ongoing Russian drone assaults, particularly swarms of Iranian-designed Shahed drones. He noted that the plan, developed under President Joe Biden's administration and coordinated with the then Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, was meant to deliver a cost-effective and specialized missile system to counter aerial threats. The National Guard troops were deployed to Los Angeles amid ongoing protests against immigration raids, despite California Governor Gavin Newsom's objections. Newsom formally requested the Trump administration to rescind the order to redeploy the troops. In the meantime, President Donald Trump's sweeping new travel ban came into effect earlier today after midnight, barring citizens from a dozen nations from entering the United States and reviving divisive measures from his first term. The move is expected to disrupt refugee pathways and further restrict immigration as the Trump administration expands its crackdown on illegal entries. Tonight, let's go find some excitement from the world of sports. Nigeria's Tobi Amuso has recorded her fastest 100-meter time of the season with an 11.18 second finish at the Racers Grand Prix World Athletics Continental Tour Silver Meeting in Kingston, Jamaica. Amuso placed fourth in the highly competitive women's sprint final in front of 15,000 spectators. That's all the top four athletes set season best marks, with the top two also meeting the qualification standard for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. Running in lane 2 and representing Racers Track Club, Amuso reacted to the gun in 0.198 seconds and crossed the line behind 3 Jamaicans and an American. Well, that's a very brilliant outcome there for one person putting Nigeria on the map for all the right reasons. Tonight we end the news with a recap of some of our big stories. A First Lady has distributed 10,000 professional kits to midwives in southeast Nigeria. And in business, Minister of Art, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, Anato Musawa, has reiterated federal government's commitment to partnering with the 36 state governors and the Federation, as well as the private sector, to achieve its target of hitting a $100 billion economy. On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump's sweeping new travel ban came into effect earlier today, barring citizens from a dozen nations from entering the United States.